Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
The following podcast is a deep, shallow dive production.
And you're going to love it.
Okay, let's go.
I'm catching some serious hell these days from people. I am. I deserve it, though, because I have been inconsistent with these podcasts. Makes me want to, I don't know, lately I've been singing Justin Bieber. Baby, baby, baby. I don't even know if that's a Justin Bieber song. Anyway, all right, what's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. My bad. Again, my bad. Trust me, your boy's got a lot going on right now, just in life in general. All good stuff, but I promise I am going to get consistent again. I promise you I will, and I'm going to take it to another level. Anyway, all right. You know, things are really starting to take an interesting turn right now. And so let me start off before I play you guys some clips. I just want to give some perspective on something. So, you know, again, I've made no bones about the fact that I did vote for Trump in 2024. I voted for him in 2020. I did not vote for him in 2016 because at that time I was kind of politically asexual. Like I just didn't care about politics. I don't care about politics. I really did it. 2016. Gosh, probably most of you guys did it. Who knows? But I think with everything that's happened since 2016 to 2020 to COVID to the rest of this, you know, people are definitely starting to care a little bit more. So again, yes, I did vote for him in 2024. But, you know, again, I'm going to go on record saying that the person at that time that, you know, many 70 million Americans voted for is not what we're getting in the White House right now. So now that's just a fact. Now that doesn't excuse it. That doesn't make it okay or anything along those lines. But what it does is it makes me think, okay, what happened? Because last week, I don't know if you guys saw this, but, you know, Trump's been going scorched earth against Candace Owens for a while now because she's been scorched earth against him. Tucker Carlson now, you know, he is persona non grata. Is that the expression? Persona non grata. And those guys were super close. I mean, I can honestly say I thought for a long time that maybe Trump and Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens kind of were playing 5D chess behind the scenes, and Trump was enabling them to basically go up against his various narratives, and he wasn't really saying anything. So I was like, okay, is Trump letting them do the dirty work because he can't do it because for some reason he's under duress? That has been part of my thought process for a while now, okay? So again, I'm not saying that couldn't be possible, but Trump took things to a whole nother level last week, I believe on Thursday or Friday, when he just sent out a tweet going at Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens. He added Alex Jones to the mix. Alex Jones, who's been a longtime supporter. He went after Megyn Kelly. Now, Megyn Kelly, you could say, okay, that's not that surprising because I think they had a lot of issues back in 2016 when she was working for Fox. So that one you can understand. But again, in one tweet, he completely disparaged Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, Megyn Kelly. And then if you throw in all the other people that have really criticized him as of late, I'm talking Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, Jimmy Dore, Dave Smith, basically that entire podcast world that in many ways one could argue helped get him elected. He's pretty much throwing everybody that goes up against him under the bus. He's completely abandoned the side of MAGA that basically listens to all those people, and you add up all their listenerships, and that's an enormous number. I mean, think about it. Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, Dave Smith. I mean, everybody. And so who's left? Who is he left to align himself with? Well, that means he's left with Lindsey Graham. He's left with Ted Cruz. He's left with Ben Shapiro. He's left with Mark Levin. Obviously, he's left with J.D. Vance, who is his vice president. So think about it. He is aligning himself in 2026 with Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz, J.D. Vance, obviously that's his vice president, Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin. Now, why is that weird? Because here, listen to this. Listen to these guys in 2026, and then the next part. Part one is, for example, Lindsey Graham 2016, and then you'll hear Lindsey Graham 2026. You'll hear J.D. Vance 2016, then J.D. Vance 2026, and then it'll end with Mark Levin 2016 and Mark Levin 2026. And if you don't know who Mark Levin is, good for you. He's such a loser. He's probably the worst voice right now in the world. Dude is awful. He's just a complete shill. Anyway, give this a listen.
And you know how you make America great again? Tell Donald Trump to go to hell.
To President Trump, you saved the world. God bless you.
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him.
Elect Donald Trump in 2024. God bless you, sir.
There is no way we are going to allow a con artist to take over the conservative movement, and Donald Trump is a con artist.
Don't play games with this president's in office, because it's not going to turn out well.
It's typical Trump. All bluster, very little substance.
President Trump made history.
Is Donald Trump the biggest moron? Who the hell are you? Some schmuck with a skyscraper? Who cares? Well, you'll see what I'm going to do. Well, you'll see what I'm going to do.
And he loves Israel, too. It's true. And I said, this is our first Jewish president.
All right, so it ended with Mark Levin saying this is our first Jewish president. I mean, listen, it's all about Israel. It just is. Oh, my God. I mean, I can't even avoid saying that anymore. And I don't think anybody can avoid saying that anymore. It's just, that is what it's all about. I mean, you know, the complete, what's the word? Defragmentation, or I don't even know if that's the right word. The complete split in MAGA. It's all about the Israel stuff. That's what it's about. It's not about Trump, you know, coming down hard on LGBTQ plus. It's not even about immigration anymore. I mean, I think the immigration definitely plays a role in that. And if you listen to the interview with Nikki Rudd, which by the way was so good, if you didn't get a chance to listen, I think it was episode 401. It was the one released last Wednesday. This kid is 23 years old. I found him incredibly savvy, incredibly articulate, very well spoken. And one of the things he talked about was how the administration is basically failing on all of the things that not only his generation, Gen Z, wanted, but, you know, MAGA in general wanted. And in my opinion, MAGA's dead. Like, it's gone. Like, I don't even know what that is anymore. I mean, it's been replaced by a very pro-Israel, pro-Zionist, and I actually don't even say that as a good or bad thing. I'm just giving you the reality of the situation. Again, I am giving you the reality of what is going on right now. And what is going on is that, you know, everybody that is really making significant noise, and think about all these people. I mean, starting from Alex Jones to Tucker Carlson to Candace Owens to Megyn Kelly to Joe Rogan. Actually, before I get to Joe Rogan, those four were core people that really got Trump elected. I mean, Alex Jones for sure, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, you know, Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was huge in terms of getting Trump elected. I mean, he was so pivotal, because if it wasn't for Charlie Kirk, that entire Generation Z, young conservative Christian, you know, kids that were part of Turning Point USA, they're the ones that supported Trump. So Charlie Kirk was incredibly influential in getting Trump supported. So Trump has turned his back on all of these people. And this is where I can't just, to me, something is causing him to do that. He's, love him or hate him, the guy's a smart guy. He just is. I mean, I know the people that hate him are probably shaking their heads right now. But again, you're talking about somebody that has been incredibly successful from a very young age. I mean, I think Trump really hit the scene in his early 30s, if not late 20s. Now, again, yes, he got a head start. He got money from his dad, but a lot of people have gotten money from their dad and they haven't turned themselves into really as famous as a person as Trump, and then again, as successful. And even on the success side, I mean, there's people that poke a hole in so many things, but the dude's got his name on enormous buildings and golf courses and hotels and properties and casinos and all of that. So I don't care whether he's taken a tax loss on all of that stuff. The bottom line is you don't get those kind of assets without being successful. You just don't. So love him or hate him, the guy's been incredibly successful. So to me, he's just not that stupid to turn his back on all of these people for really no reason. Actually, for one reason, and that is all of these people are criticizing him for being really Israel first versus America first, and basically going against all of his campaign promises, which in a nutshell centered around, being the president of peace, no more wars, I'll end the Russia-Ukraine war in 24 hours. What happened to that? That's still going. And then obviously everything that's going on in Iran right now. So I don't know. I mean, again, I have a hard time believing that he just changed his opinion. So I do stick to thinking there is some type of duress situation going on where he is being caused to act like this. Now, again, maybe not. Maybe I'm giving him too much of the benefit of the doubt, and maybe this was the biggest psychological operation, aka a psyop, that has been put on us since 2016, where they made us think that I didn't even think it at the time because I didn't vote for Trump in 2016, but they basically made everybody and created MAGA and made everybody think here is a president of the people and he's going to quote unquote drain the swamp and he's going to get rid of the globalists and blah, blah, blah. And he's basically turned into them. So the question is, was he that all along? Was this a gigantic psyop? Or really the only other option is, like I said, that he is under some type of duress situation. But regardless, he doesn't get a pass. I've said this before. He doesn't get a pass for any of it. And he needs to be accountable for everything he's doing, including what he's doing in Iran and this whole Strait of Hormuz and all that stuff. So let's shift gears and talk about the Strait of Hormuz and all that. And again, if you listen to my episode with Nikki Rudd, you'll know that I basically said this.
With the Strait of Hormuz basically shut down, the world now faces a full-scale energy crisis. We hear this quite often nowadays, but what does it actually mean? Let's break it down. Starting with the US, which triggered the closure of the strait when the Americans, along with Israel, launched their war on Iran. At first, the US looks insulated. It produces a lot of its own oil. But oil is a global commodity, so when supply collapses, prices rise everywhere.
So the whole global energy crisis, honestly, I think that is something that's coming. What that looks like, I don't know, but in the simplest of formats, it looks like ridiculously high gas prices. I'm not talking about, $6 a gallon, which is what I paid at Costco. I think I paid $5.89 the other day at Costco, which was just insane. Maybe it was $5.69, but it's still ridiculous. I'm talking about, what if gas was $15.69? I mean, I'm not going to travel as much. I talked about this in a previous episode. You're not going to go on any real road trips or waste time driving. You're probably not. Like, think about that. Think about if gas was $15.69 a gallon. So on a 17-gallon tank, I mean, I think that's like an average tank of gas for a lot of cars. That's $266 you're paying to fill up your tank. That's insane. I mean, that is insane. So if you're paying that much, people are going to ration how much they drive. And then if their electricity bill doubles, triples, quadruples, their gas bill triples, quadruples, food prices triple, quadruple, it's self-imposed lockdowns. I mean, the food is the one that I think would make the biggest difference. And man, that would just be really bad. But the rest of it, again, whether you're talking about gasoline, electricity, or the gas to heat your house or whatever, now we're talking about COVID-style self-imposed lockdowns. And again, it's not really a lockdown. You're just not going out as much because it's too expensive to do anything. So I do think something along those lines are coming. Let me play for you a couple other things. I won't finish that earlier clip because it looks like the audio wasn't great, but give this a listen.
The U.S. has now announced it could block the Strait of Hormuz. This means even if Iran allows ships to pass, there will be U.S. Navy ships controlling movement in the area. In simple terms, ships won't move freely. They could be stopped, checked, delayed, or even turned back by U.S. forces. At the same time, Iran has warned it will respond to any military presence in the strait, increasing the risk of a direct clash. This creates a tense situation where both sides are trying to control the same waterway. Iran says ships can pass, while the U.S. says only under its conditions. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the most critical routes in the world, carrying around 20% of global oil supply every day. Because of this, even a small disruption can quickly push oil prices higher and impact global markets. Many countries, especially in Asia and Europe, depend heavily on oil that passes through this route. So any blockade or conflict here could affect fuel prices, shipping routes, and supply chains worldwide. With U.S. naval forces already active in the region and Iran increasing its warnings, the situation is becoming more serious by the hour. If tensions continue to rise, the Strait of Hormuz could turn into one of the most dangerous flashpoints in the world right now.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, Trump supposedly sent the United States Navy there, and they're going to block it, which is going to cause Iran to, retaliate. China, they chimed in the other day and said, we do business with Iran, and we expect to be able to travel through the Strait of Hormuz as we see fit and all that. So who knows what's going to happen there. But anyway, I think this whole Strait of Hormuz thing becomes the catalyst to this global energy crisis. This global energy crisis becomes the catalyst to, again, upending your life and uprooting your life. Kind of like I said in the interview with Nikki Rudd, where I said a COVID-like situation that basically causes a mass change in how people go about their day-to-day life. I could see something like that being on the horizon. Okay, I'm going to play this clip from Alex Jones. He was on the Hodge twins. And, I don't really play Alex Jones that much on this podcast. I don't really know why. But he's, there's a lot of things he says over the years that I really like. There's some things I don't. But overall, I mean, the dude is definitely a voice that gets listened to. So give this a listen.
MAGA was supposed to be America first. Yeah. We're not getting America first. Yeah. We're getting Israel first. Yeah. This country is occupied. And then, not to mention, the first day of this war, they bombed Iranian elementary schoolgirls.
We're now told that Mark Levin is the litmus test. He goes, this is what you must be. Mark Levin was a never-Trumper. So is Ben Shapiro.
Yeah,
so is Lindsey Graham. And then we're told we're not the original MAGA. Well, let's get this straight. I'm 1776. Trump didn't create me. In fact, all I got was persecution, censorship, and attacks supporting Trump. We built the launch pad for Trump. And so I've always said I'm not MAGA. I'm all for making America great again, but I precede that. I'm 1776. I'm America free and strong and anti-globalist. Oh, you can't sit at the cool table if you don't agree with Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro with almost no listeners. They're complete jokes. Alan Dershowitz, Epstein's lawyer.
We're seeing an attempted coup within the Republican Party by neo-Nazi fascists, by Tucker Carlson, by Fuentes, by Owens. We're seeing an attempt by these neo-Nazis to take over the Republican Party. Fortunately, good Republicans, headed by President Trump, are stopping it. And President Trump said, these people are not MAGA. These people are not my people.
Okay, that was Alan Dershowitz, who was like Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer. Just, again, another total scumbag, just a sleazy dude. But listen to the rest from the Hodge twins. And if you don't know who they are, they're these two, like, big black dudes, light-skinned brothers, though. They're a couple of light-skinned brothers.
For Trump to label these people MAGA? Yeah. Like, for example, you, Alex, you've been like a Trump supporter since day one, and that's made you a target.
Right.
Right? And you had all these people come after you, and now at this point, after all your support for him, you have no access to this guy.
Laura Loomer has access to him.
Yeah, Larry Loomer has access to this guy. You supported him the entire time.
Yeah.
No access.
I mean, access has been offered, but I don't want to go hang out at Mar-a-Lago or the White House now. They're not asking now. I was very happy with Elon and Doge, and we were moving so well the first 4, 5, 6 months. Then it was like a record skipping or when a car crashes. Whenever stuff started to change course, now it's so flagrant. I've just been trying to get him back on course. I think the big question is now, can that be done?
So can that be done? Can President Trump be brought back on course? I don't think so. I really don't. I think that, and again, it's by design. I mean, everything that is happening because of something. I don't really know what that something is, but it's happening because of something. Because again, he's turned his back on literally everybody that has been legitimate and supported him. And now look who he surrounds himself with. Just, you know, a complete set of clowns. Laura Loomer, Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro, Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz. I mean, these guys are all just absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. I don't know, man. I don't know what's coming. I really don't, but I feel like something is. I don't think it's going to just be status quo for 2026 and 2027 leading into that election, because here's why. If it is, there is no chance Republicans win. There's no chance J.D. Vance wins. I mean, I'll vote for Gavin Newsom personally before I would vote for J.D. Vance after what I've seen from this administration. And you guys know, if you've been a longtime listener, I can't stand Gavin Newsom. Although some people tell me I look like Gavin Newsom. I don't really think I look like Gavin Newsom. I mean, that's a compliment. Dude's a good-looking guy. But anyway, that's why I think something is coming. Like, there's just no way it's just going to continue like this for the next 2 years. I mean, some people think what's coming is some type of crazy World War III where Trump tries to stay in office. I mean, I can actually see that now. I legitimately can see that now. I could see him trying to somehow run for a third term, which again, to me is insane, but I could see it. I really don't put anything past anything being plausible and possible, unfortunately. All right, let me see what else. I have some other clips. Oh, you know what? I keep forgetting. I'm going to play this real quick. Remember I played you guys a clip about Larry Bird a couple episodes ago? I don't know why lately I've been like so enamored with like old school NBA highlights of people. And I love seeing Larry Bird highlights, but this is a great story by Nolan Richardson. I meant to play it on a previous episode, but I keep forgetting, but let's listen to this.
I never forget driving and I'm listening to a game. It's New Mexico State playing Indiana State. I don't really care about the game, but New Mexico State is right up the street from El Paso, and I went to UTEP. And we're big rivalries, so I'm hoping that Indiana State will beat New Mexico State. And I'm listening to the radio, and I have no clue of the players on either team. All of a sudden, this name keeps coming. Bird. He goes to the right. Bird. He makes the shot. Bird. I said, God damn, who is Bird? Bird. You know, here's Bird. And Bird this. And Bird. Oh, did you see the pass that Bird made? I can't see it, but I'm just trying to imagine it. And when the time I got to the end, I said, damn, that brother can play. When I got the newspaper the next morning and saw Larry's picture, I said, damn.
I seriously love that story. I think it's so hilarious. If you see the video, it's even better because obviously Bird's in the audience and everybody's just dying laughing. Anyway, I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. I love that version of America, man. That version of America, that is definitely what I miss. Okay, the other things that have gone on recently, I mean, again, oh God, this whole episode is geared around weird Trump stuff, but he posted, well, it wasn't him. I mean, he claims it was him, but obviously he didn't create the image, but he posted an image of himself that basically looked like he was trying to be Jesus Christ, and people went crazy. I mean, this is after posting, awful things on Easter about, blowing up the Iranian civilization back to the Stone Age. I don't even think I talked about that. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But then this picture of himself, kind of like an AI animated kind of cartoon-like image of himself as Jesus Christ. What was he doing? He was like blessing somebody or looking down on somebody. And then he got grilled about it. And here was his explanation.
Did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better. As an example, the 11,000, I understand your husband's going through treatment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's going through some very serious cancer treatment, so
yes, sir.
This goes a long way.
Yes, sir, it sure does.
Yeah.
So he claimed the picture was him as a doctor, as a Red Cross doctor. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. You know what's funny? For the guy invented and coined the term the fake news. And by the way, I do believe in the fake news. I do think that throughout 2016 to 2020, really, gosh, yeah, that entire time, I mean, I would be in agreement by saying CNN, MSNBC, all these outlets were fake news. I would absolutely agree with that. Now it's like, dude is the fake news. Like he's literally become his own creation. What is that? Like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde or Frankenstein or something. I don't know. Anyway, he's literally become his own creation, and he's literally become fake news himself. That being a perfect example. I mean, I don't know what the deal is, why he's going after Christian and Catholicism. Actually, I do know. I do know the answer to that, but I will talk about that in another episode. All right, that's it, everybody. Coming up on 30, I'm going to try to get another interview released this week, try to come back Friday for one more episode. Again, my apologies. I do thoroughly apologize for my inconsistency. I will definitely try to get back on track with things and get a lot more interviews going. It seems like people, gosh, probably enjoy the interviews these days more than my sporadic monologues. But that's it, everybody. Have a great day. Get out there, get some steps, call a spade, call your parents, and we'll talk to you soon.
That was a great way to end it.
This episode was brought to you by the new book, Deep Shallow Dive Into You, available now on Amazon in hardcover, paperback, as well as via Kindle. Pick up your copy today of Deep Shallow Dive Into You, a guide to having a more authentic relationship with yourself. Turns out it is indeed true. Bro wrote a book.